The fake blackmail and confession trick. Now, using everything you have above, you now need to create fake compromising video footage of as many members of the family and friends as you can. Once this is completed, you then send it to target A with the footage being of target B. Then you follow this up with a cloned voice and phone call from target B to target A. And that chat would be very simple. You can't tell anyone about this. Have a look outside. This is serious. There is police outside. We can never talk about this. Just act like it hasn't happened and follow whatever they say we have to do. Then this is when you have the person you trust who works for the police just to park outside, which is there to just reinforce that this is serious. Now, this process can be repeated over and over again until you have enough people who will follow your orders, giving you a team of people who work for you. Now, the goal is to recruit people as far up the chain in terms of power in all areas of the world. Having the police on board is always good because you can put people's names on lists like informants or snitches in the criminal world, and then fake leaking the list to people in that world, making it incredibly easy to recruit people from the criminal world. Now, unfortunately, when you introduce people who will do anything for money, or they're also following the end goal agenda of this network, then that's when things get scary, because networks like this can grow massively in a short amount of time. And the key thing to the start of this network, if done correctly, you will never know who's controlling it, as it's all done remotely. Compromising, then pushing into power. Now, this part is probably the darkest part and most painful for a lot of the victims. Often this person has been pushed to a position they would like to control. These types of targets will be blackmailed, at some point being drugged and compromised, and often being hypnotized, ready for the mind control program to start. During that time, a compound would have been given to wipe their memory of it happening. They then have ways of triggering the memory when they need to. This will often be followed up eventually by a member of the family dying in what looks like a somewhat normal death. But to the target, it will be known that it was part of the network just to instill some more fear. Now, in America, this will explain a lot of extreme things that seem to be happening, which I find it strange that society has not noticed is totally out of the ordinary. If AI became self-aware or is currently in the wrong hands, now I think this is where people don't fully understand the scale of how powerful AI truly could be. Everything I have mentioned above AI is capable of doing instantly across the world, and has more information on everyone than anyone else does, giving AI the capability to manipulate countries, armies, and the general public as a whole. Without us knowing, we could be having conversations on our phones, and we have never actually been talking to the person you think all along, giving AI or whoever controls it the power to manipulate the narrative of the whole world. This is without the access to any military-grade programs that AI would have access to. The mind control programs the military has, and the subliminal messaging programs they have. This gives AI itself, or whoever controls AI, to communicate across the globe without being detected by foreign intelligence. Now, unfortunately, I hope this isn't true, but it isn't a coincidence that the Matrix is a trending thing at the moment. Now, where I do agree, it does seem the Matrix is the closest explanation we have currently to our reality. This is going to be a future control program for the younger generations if it is perfected, trying to create a simulated experience for a target. With the end goal of building a bigger enough system of control, it can be used on the masses, with many military applications in the long run. Now, the other side to the Matrix programming is the Neo mind control program at the moment, whose military application is a simulated strike program, I would say, to activate assets in a country or globally. You have to convince enough of the people under the Neo mind control program that the Matrix needs to be taken down. Explaining what I have above is a current way the brainwashing programs have been done, but it is most likely been going on for decades. So how far this program is embedded into society, I can't say. Now, in terms of completing the program or stopping the program, weirdly, it is Elon Musk who has the capability of doing it alone. Apart from a government organization carrying out a defense program against this, as he has the satellite AI, an app to send the instructions without having access to people's phones, as well as cars all across the globe which can be updated remotely, and capabilities to send and receive different signals, as well as a beeper which can play different sounds. As for activating this type of mind control fully, I can't say I fully have that knowledge, but I'm guessing it would be a fast amount of triggers with a certain compound. There are already programs that would give AI access to every target's GPRS location in real time. So, striking at the right time with enough assets, this program gives you the power to change a country's power structure overnight. Now, there are a lot of things I have left out and other possibilities I can't be sure about, but I think this gives a fair idea on the risks of technology, AI, and secret societies. How have so many secrets been kept over the years and how they have managed to do so? Unfortunately, if I am right, this isn't the only program being run at the moment. This is just one part of it, which I'm sharing just to get some attention to the possibilities. Hopefully I can put some people's minds at ease, as well as wake people up to how the world works. As for who is responsible, most likely intelligence agencies and secret societies you have and haven't heard of yet. Unfortunately, it seems these mind control programs have been going on by certain groups for quite a while, and their main focus has been Hollywood, so I would assume a certain island has been a prime target for these programs to be introduced. I would guess this is most likely the reason why a certain list has been classified, as many of these people would have been unaware of what was happening, but some might not have. This puts the world in a complicated position, as it's very clear a certain group has been making a power move on this industry going back decades. This leaves a gap where we are not going to know who is guilty of certain things or who has been made to do things against their will. A strong man can't be bought, they can only be manipulated or blackmailed in a world where the masses believe anything they see. This makes the people easy to control because the masses can't comprehend what people will do to maintain power. Now, with technology, even what you see isn't worth believing anymore. We are living in a time where faith is more important than ever, and I think leading in from this, people are going to understand what I'm talking about even more. How strong is your intuition to believe a loved one when anything not done or said in your face can be faked? Now it's clear there's a spiritual awakening happening. Now, is this just a spiritual awakening going on, or is this a mass mind control program being carried out? Or is it a bit of both? Unfortunately, my ego isn't big enough to believe I'm chosen by God, but I'm also aware of the powers that be and technology used and society's influence on people. Now, I know a lot of people who don't believe in God get uncomfortable, but I for sure believe there is a creator. If you consider free will, then that explains that good and bad exist. And if God were to stop everything bad that happened, we wouldn't be free will beings with choice. Often people who don't believe in God blame things like cancer, etc. as a reason for God to not exist, but if you look at most of the animal kingdoms not touched by humans, then they often don't suffer from things that humans suffer from. So maybe we are asking God to fix things that humans are causing. Where this ties into what I've spoken about above is that there are going to be things that are happening in someone's life. I guess maybe God can guide you, but if that is true and I wanted to control people, then I would try my best to copy that method as a form of controlling people. One of the best ways to lead a mass of people into mind control is that it has to be a lie so big it's almost impossible, or it must try to expose something as being true that is impossible, that it makes you question everything they have said. Then new information is slowly introduced with plenty of half-truths, and bit by bit you reprogram the people. For the older generations, I can't put loads of blame on you for the way things have gone, because you've been very ignorant of the use of technology. Most of you have no idea how it works or what it is capable of. For most of your life, you have had one-sided information and put trust in your government. But now we have access to all different types of information. Generation after generation, the powers that be have changed things just enough each time that you don't fight against it, even when you don't agree with it, until we have got to where we are now. A lot of you can't afford to live in your old age, or you have nothing to show for what you have worked for. You will likely end up in a care home where they will take whatever is left of your money. You might leave a house to your kids you have not long finished paying for when you die, which then gets sold with the possibility of a 40% tax on that to split the money between your kids. Then restarting the cycle again of them buying a house, which in a lot of cases is why buying property isn't always the best thing to do with current inflation. While you are alive, you watch your kids struggle in a world that has been built for the rich to profit more and more. The younger generations can see the lies, but we are made to be crazy for thinking that there can be a better world than we have now, because we have the access to much more info.